So former RBA player Patrick Ewing, who once played for the New York Knicks, picks Michael Jordan as his GOAT over LeBron James. Here's Patrick Ewing stating something that we already know. Something that should pretty much be common sense. It's like one of those duh moments. Saying that Michael Jordan is better than LeBron James is something that you don't even have to think about. That should be the first thing that comes to your mind. That's like putting your shoes on before you leave the house. Something you automatically know to think to do. Like waking up and brushing your teeth. Although I know there's a lot of y'all walking around with funky breath, it's almost like putting on lotion before you leave the house. But I know it's a lot of y'all walking around here that's looking ultra ashy, ladies and gentlemen. That's like, you already know you broke. Why you gonna check your bank account? Why would I log into my bank account when I already know it's the same $2.50 that's been in there for the past 3 weeks? It's like, bro, how you gonna unbroke a broke person? Make that make sense. If I'm broke, then I'm broke forever. But let's read what Patrick Ewing had to say. It says, Ewing emphasized that LeBron James is a great player in this era, but he's not Michael Jordan. He says, quote, it's two different animals. Michael Jordan was a killer, an assassin. LeBron James is more like of a facilitator. He's one of the guys that you're going to give the ball, and he's probably thinking shoot first before pass, where Michael, you give him the ball, he's thinking he's going to score 50 on you, then he's going to pass. I don't think he meant to say that LeBron is one of those guys that you're going to get a ball and he's going to think to shoot first. I think he meant to say, in terms of being a facilitator, he's going to pass first, then he's going to think to shoot. And this is something that Kobe Bryant stated years ago about if there was any player that he would want to play with, it would be LeBron, because LeBron is a passer. He's a facilitator by nature, and Kobe is a scorer by nature. So it would pretty much go hand in hand. And Patrick Ewing, you're right. They are two different animals. Michael Jordan is a lion, Mufasa, the king of the jungle. LeBron James is nothing more than a koala bear. Michael Jordan is a shark in the water. LeBron James, he's a baby shark. Do baby shark, do baby shark. But he's just letting you know that LeBron James doesn't have that assassin's mentality. He doesn't have that killer instinct in him. And as much as the bronzesexuals and the media try to convince us that he does not. And here you have a RBA player with experience who actually played against Michael Jordan telling you. It's like with the bronzesexuals, they're willing to take any test except for the eye test. My eyes have shown me time and time again that LeBron James is not a closer in the fourth quarter. We've seen him choke more than he's closed games out. We've seen him quit on his team multiple times. LeBron James. So in other words, you ain't built like that. You ain't no killer. You ain't no King Von. You ain't Scarface. You ain't no killer like Mike. You get it? And I ain't talking about the rapper Killer Mike. I'm talking about the basketball player, the ball head guy who once played in Chicago, Chirac, LeBron James. When Tupac stated in a song, I ain't no killer, but don't push me. No, he's right. You ain't no killer. And people can push you. Now, for some reason, the media has conditioned the masses, even RBA players, to automatically to attach LeBron James' name to Michael Jordan's name, because they're trying to force the people to believe that LeBron James and Michael Jordan are somehow mano y mano. They're in the same realm, and it's not even close. I don't have Patrick Ewing in my top 10 personally, but I do believe that Patrick Ewing was a better player than LeBron James. Patrick Ewing came during a time where the game was far more physical. Just think, Patrick Ewing played in Michael Jordan era. And Michael Jordan, majority of Michael Jordan's scoring came from scoring on the inside. This was the era of the most dominant big man. One of the reasons that Patrick Ewing couldn't get a ring is because of Michael Jordan. It took for Michael Jordan to retire before Hakeem Olajuwon would get a championship. Michael Jordan is the reason that a lot of players didn't get rings. Reggie Miller, the Cleveland Cavaliers, Gary Payton, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Charles Barkley, some of the greatest first ballot Hall of Famers who have blessed the game have lost out on rings because Michael Jordan and the Bulls stood in the way. But when you look in the LeBron James era, so many great athletes has eaten off of LeBron James. Dirk Nowitzki, from Kawhi Leonard to Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic. And remind you, this is all while LeBron James is playing on super teams. They always praise him advancing to all these NBA finals, but he does not have enough rings to match as much talent that he had. And this is why LeBron James does not want to retire. Because if he retires, the media is instantly going to move on to the next. Because his entire game is based and centered around stats. So he has to stay around and pad his stats. Because if he leaves the game, he's no longer going to be relevant. So Luka Doncic is going to come along and he's going to get all the stats. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to get all the stats. Steph Curry, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Paolo, whatever the guy name is, Ja Morant, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. The game is going to continue and these younger players are going to put up the numbers. They're going to put up the stats. LeBron James numbers will be forgotten about. And those numbers are what is continuing to keep him relevant. They need those stats and they need for him to break all those records to sell you on, to convince you that he's better than Jordan. And they know without those stats, you're going to see the truth. I ain't even gonna lie. I always thought the name Ewing was cool. Like, I thought that was a cool name, Patrick Ewing. There's so many different ways you can really flip that. I mean, it's really crazy that his last name is Ewing, like Ewing, but he ain't never won the title. He ain't never won nothing. So having the last name Ewing and you ain't never won nothing is crazy. Or you could say UN, Patrick Ewing, like you end, like LeBron James, you end your career being 4-6 in the NBA Finals. Most career turnovers in NBA history. You will have the most missed shots in NBA history. The most overrated player in NBA history.